I live, it's what I'm living for. Deep inside my heart, I've got this everlasting light, it's shining like the sun. It radiates on everyone, and the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live, it's what I'm living for. Deep inside my heart, I've got this everlasting light, it's shining like the sun. It radiates on everyone, and the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live, it's what I'm living for.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Aloha, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. My name is Michelle LeMay, and I am on the Board of Trustees. I'm a practitioner intern, which means I take lots and lots and lots of classes. And, and then I'm also part of the Malama team, who are the folks that helped greet you and welcome you when you come in. So thank you for joining us today. We have lots happening here, especially with the holiday season. So everything I share is also on the program that you received when you arrived. I'm circulating around. We do have a newsletter that Rita sends out weekly with all this information too, and this is for even folks who are off island or on island and aren't coming to service regularly. If you want to keep updated, I will grab your email address. So I'll have a clipboard for those of you who may not be on the newsletter yet. And then for those of you who are off island or on island and not in the service, I keep mentioning that because I know there's people watching and peeking in and wearing PJs, and sometimes I'm jealous. But you can go to csl.org and cslkauai.org and sign up for the newsletter there as well. So it's just another way to keep in touch. And of course, there's always Facebook. So lots of ways to keep in touch and informed. So we do have our wonderful bookstore that has lots of holiday gifts, so check that out after service. Roseanne has been doing wonderful things with bringing in different books, different items, different gift ideas. So please check that out. And then directly after service, we are having Rap with the Revs. And that's a way to just gather, learn a little bit about Reverends Rita and Patrick, how CSL Kauai started, and then a way for us to share about ourselves, to learn a little bit more about our spiritual fellow travelers. So please stay for that after service. And then on Wednesday, we have another healing circle. These have been so beautiful and so big and so full. And what that is, it's a way just to come and get spiritually fed. And we do that through music, through meditation. We create a chamber of prayer with the different practitioners here. And really, you just come and let go of whatever needs to be let go of in your life through meditation, and then you just receive all the love that's given from the practitioners, the Revs, and then of course the music and we just create such a yummy little space. So that's going to be this coming Wednesday, and that's from 7 to 8. So when you arrive, we just have you come mostly in silence. So, just arrive and find a seat and receive. And if you've come before, you know how nourishing it is. And we just invite you all to join us on Wednesday. And then Saturday, we have the 5th annual Women in Consciousness Luncheon, Christmas Luncheon. So Deborah Valentina was one of the ones who was greeting you. She's standing in the back, waving her hand. It's going to be a fun event from 11 to 1. And please RSVP. There is some setup and some things to, get ready for that. So they do need to know how many folks are coming, even if you don't usually RSVP to things. It's kind of not a thing here sometimes. Please let Deborah know that if you're going to come, because it just makes it a lot easier. And it is a potluck, and there is a special flyer because there's a couple different things that you all going to be doing. And I believe the special flyers are on the information table out back, when there's lots of different flyers about what's happening in December and other activities. So that's going to be an amazing luncheon for the ladies. And again, that's 11 to 1 on Saturday. And then mark your calendars. We have lots more happening in December. And we've started a new meet and greet series so that you can learn more about the philosophers and the mystics who really brought about new thought. So this month, it's going to be Reverend Rita, and she's going to be talking about Phineas Quimby. So back in the day, if you haven't heard the name, that's okay. Come, you'll learn all about him. And that's going to be Wednesday, December 13th from 6:30 to 8. All right, well, enjoy your service, everyone. Thanks for your kind attention. And here's Reverends Rita and Reverend Patrick.
Thank you, Michelle. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha. There we go.
It's a little nippy out these days for Kauai, of course. It's always nippy in here. You can
These
count
are the
on
cold seats right here. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's where the vent is.
Oh, I've started a trend now, haven't I?
So, go ahead.
Welcome. So the first thing we wanted to do before we started today was to recognize something really beautiful that has happened here. And if you'll look over behind this wonderful, wonderful piece of art by Judy Burton, if you'll just stand for just a quick sec. And that she was so graciously, wonderfully came back on island, and the moment she comes back, look what she gives our ohana, and it's just perfect for where Rita and I are sitting. There's just such a warmth. That's the word, warmth about it. So
And
Rita's
if you want to talk to her about it or getting copies of it and things like that, she'll be available after service. But I want to read you the beautiful thing that she wrote that goes with it, that's right next to it, that you can read yourself later, but I'm going to read it anyway because it's so beautiful. And she wrote it. "The Power of Love" is the name of the piece. "This painting tells a story of the strength, endurance, and longevity of the bamboo, heohe. But it is also telling our story, one of grace, courage, faith, acceptance, surrender, humility, and eventually by receiving, revealing the power of our true nature. These are the gifts of divine presence that lead us to higher levels of spiritual acceptance and ultimately to the conscious use of spiritual power for the greater good. There is one power. It is love." Thank you, Judy.
Hello. We have such artists and such creativity on this island. Over to my left is Maria, but behind Maria,
She's a piece of art, too.
She's a masterpiece, just so you'll know. But this is Rebecca DeRuz, another artist. So we're just balanced out. We have Rob, Ernest in the back, incredible.
created by Rob Jones, who is an amazing artist. Yeah, we are so blessed. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, that's good. So let's just take a moment to remember peace. That there's that place within us that is peace. The peace of God is right where we are. We don't have to go anywhere to get it. It is right there. And the more we recognize it and bring it out into our lives, the more the world is blessed by our peace. Our individual peace becomes the collective peace. As we light our candle, let's take a moment of silence. And so it is. So welcome again to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, where we practice the science of mind and spirit, and where we know that we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe. Everything we are is spirit. There is nothing else but that. And we're governed by our use of the law of cause and effect. We're governed by our use of it. Not by it, by our use of it. It's very important because we're always at choice. And that's really what we practice here in simplicity. That's the best way to say it. We're spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe governed by our use of the spiritual law of cause and effect. And the more we can use that law for good, the more our lives will exemplify that. And that's what we practice here. And so it is.
And we come here every Sunday to gather as Ohana, as family, as community, to remember who we are at all times. So it's just wonderful to look out at such beautiful faces this morning. And speaking of beautiful faces, are there any beautiful faces that are here for the very first time? Just go a little, yeah, just a little, yeah. I could tell you how that looked like. Oh, here it comes. No, here it comes. I can tell. So, yeah. The tag. I love it. Anyone else here for the very first time? So what we want to tell you is that we have a little information about you besides the tag that you're wearing. We have some information about you that we'd like to share. So should we just let them know right off the bat? Okay. You are magnificent. He looks absolutely relieved. Yeah, I hear you. It's all over now. Now we're moving right on, sir. The reason we do know that about you, and the reason we had to tell you, is because we like to remind ourselves of who we are, and we know that first. So shall we say it all together?
I am magnificent.
And if you'll look behind you, there's this camera that's, gosh, it's like a movie set. But it's not. What that is live streaming. I know Sherry and Tom are out there, so we're going to say hello to them. But there's so many people that we know that watch on a weekly basis that are off island and online. And there's also people that are watching that we have no idea even who they are. And that's my suggestion. When your friends say, what do you do over there? In Kaua'i at this place, you say, listen, you tell them, be proud, but say, if you don't really feel comfortable walking in, go live stream them. You can eavesdrop and nobody will even know that you're there, and it's beautiful. So what we need to do is to tell them who they are that are watching. You ready?
You are magnificent.
Now look to your left, to your right, whatever, just let somebody know who they are. You're magnificent. You're magnificent. Jack is magnificent. Maria is.
You're magnificent.
Desiree.
You are magnificent back there. You are definitely magnificent. I like your shoes.
So why doesn't everyone stand and we'll share magnificence with our opening song with Maria and Luis? I think it's time.
I think everybody knows this one.
I think it's time to let some light shine.
Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. No more living in fear, I'm gonna let it shine. No more living in fear, I'm gonna let it shine. No more living in fear, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Okay, keep it clapping and keep it shining, because what I know right here today is we are celebrating the divinity of who each and every one of us are in every moment. That is how special, that is how great, that is how magnificent each and every one of us are right here in this moment, letting our light shine from our hearts. And it doesn't stop here, it goes out into the world, but it stays here for this time of celebration, the celebration of remembering how powerful we are, that this divine spirit is running through each and every one of us, in every moment, in every breath, in every twinkle in our eyes. This is who we are. We are spirit shining. Are we shining? Can I hear yes? Can I hear yes again? That's what we're doing. We are shining, shining bright. So we just let it be. We let it go. And what is it? And so it is. Let it shine.
all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine.
Now that's the way to start a day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to do the meditation today, and I'd like to start off by inviting everyone to get comfortable in your seats and knowing that you're in a safe place, and this is going to be a great day. So let's just take some deep breaths if you'd like, and if you feel like closing your eyes, that's fun too, because you could have an inner vision of what's going on here. Taking some deep breaths. I'd like to read a quote from Oprah Winfrey. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for yourself, for your life, because you become what you believe. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. And in this next few moments, as we go into our meditation, let's just relax and breathe and just enjoy the quiet. Thank you. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe. And now let's continue to relax and breathe together as one, knowing that there's one presence and one power in the universe. There's only one of us here right now. We're all here together. We're spirit. We're all one. And this power that I call God, that I call good, is everywhere present. It's in everyone, in this room, on this island. It's magnificent. It's love. It's God. It's goodness. It's in the United States. It's in the world. And it reaches to the far reaches of the universe and beyond into infinity and on and on and on. It's in everything. It's in everyone. Wherever love is, God is. Wherever life is, God is. And today, what I know is that I believe and know that love is everywhere present. We are all one with this power and this presence. And what I know about this beautiful life is that I believe and know that we all have perfect health, perfect relationships, perfect creative expression, perfect health. And it's all possible and it's all here right now. And I know that for this congregation and for everybody on this island and for everybody in this world. I know perfect happiness and health. And I just know it goes on and on and on. And because we are all reflecting that, sending that light and that love out there, I just believe that we are all so filled with love, and I am so grateful for this belief in the love and the light and the goodness and the health and the prosperity and the creative endeavors that we all have. And I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo for this perfect belief that we all have deep within that's just rising up at any time that we want to access it. And I am so eternally grateful. And I know that my prayers are answered even before I ask. And I release my word to the law. And as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Let fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Thank you. Thank you, Malia. Thank you, Maria Christina, for setting a perfect environment for us today. So this month is all about belief. We thought it was the perfect theme for the holidays, because the holidays are all about belief, right? All the miracles and things that we celebrate, from Santa Claus to Jesus to Hanukkah to all the things that happened this month. So I just want to read this quote that I have this book. It's an old book. I think it's out of print. You probably can get it on used books or something. It's called Love and Law by Ernest Holmes. It's one of his earlier books. And it's actually based on some talks he gave. And it says, when people begin to realize that we are living in a mental universe or a spiritual universe, they have to rethink all their philosophy. Right? When people begin to realize that we are living in a mental universe or a spiritual universe, they have to rethink all their philosophy. They no longer can give a physical reason or meaning to life because there is no physical reason or meaning in life at all. So the premise of all thinkers of all ages has invariably been that all is mind. Since all is mind, we have to explain life from that premise, if we explain it correctly. To me, this is like profound. It's not that it wasn't said before by Aristotle and Socrates and back to wherever we look. Even the Huna religion says the same thing. We've been being told this forever and a day. And yet, and I want to say something about this man, because this man wrote, Ernest Holmes, the person that founded this Science, Mind, and Spirit, he wrote during a time that was a horrendous time in our history. He wrote during nuclear holocausts and World War II and World War I and the Depression and all those things, and he was still saying these things, and he was still looking for the good and living the good and inspiring people to do so. So, unfortunately, history repeats itself, right? But I think that a lot of it is this idea, it's all this idea of that it's a mental universe, a spiritual universe, and we keep trying to solve our problems collectively and individually from a physical standpoint, and we can't do it. We just can't do it. And so we're talking about belief today, and it all does start with belief. It all starts with, how did this get out of here? Oh, well. My paper got out of my thing here. Okay, sorry. It all starts with belief. So Ernest Holmes wrote in the same book, there's only one thing that I ask of you, and that is that you will believe absolutely this thing works. If you do not believe it works, it will not work because everything is belief. So see how you do, that's it. That's it in a nutshell, right? Everybody got that, right? So yeah, it goes around in a circle. So it's kind of like crazy making in a way, but yet it's so for me, it's so anchoring and so nurturing and so knowing and so gives me so much to work with to take responsibility for myself and to know that as I believe it is done unto me. And I have to take responsibility. And my life, I can look back on my life and the different things I've experienced, and I can see that it was because of the way I believed. And if I can change the way I believe, then I can change my life. It's not about changing the way we think, because we could never change the way we think if we don't change the way we believe. People have that mixed up. I know we say thoughts are things and change your thinking, change your life and all that. But if you go further back, the only reason you're thinking the way you're thinking, whether it's positively or negatively or however you want to phrase it, I don't like positive, negative, whatever, things that serve you or don't serve you, whatever. It's because behind those thoughts is a belief that you have. And so you got to get to the belief and change it. But now people think they can't change their beliefs because they think their beliefs are out of their control. I'm sorry, but a lot of people think that. I'm not saying anybody in this room thinks that way, but they think they can't change a belief. Who put the belief there? We did. Do you realize somebody stood up at a lecture once and said, all beliefs are false? And I was like, what? In reality, they are, because they can change. There's no truth in a belief unless you believe it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to spin your heads today, but but yeah, I actually do mean to spin your heads, because there is no truth in a belief unless you believe it. So what happens? Who put the belief there? Oh, maybe we could say the media put it there. Our parents put it there. The kid we grew up with put it there. It happened because of an experience we had. I mean, beliefs do come from different places. They come from all different places because we accepted them. And and if we ever think that we are out of control of our beliefs, then we're in big trouble. We accepted them. We have to know that they came through and we accepted them. We might not have known that we accepted them, and that's the beauty of this idea of this teaching, is that we can make conscious use of our beliefs. We can change our beliefs. It's not hard. Well, I won't say it's not hard, because I've spent a lot of time working on changing my beliefs. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be fun. We can say it's hard, and we can say it's dreary, and we can say that it's going to take us a long time and all that. And in some cases it might, but we can also say that it's a big adventure to try to change our beliefs. If we want to, maybe we don't. Maybe our beliefs are really serving us. I have some beliefs that are great, that do serve me. But then I've had some throughout my life that I don't want to have them anymore. So can I change them, and how can I change them? Do you believe you can change your beliefs? Do you believe? See, there it is. You have to be willing to believe you can change them. That's the first step. So the first step is to be willing to believe it, and to be able to be willing to make the choice and the decision to do it. Then what ends up happening is you have a universal power that's within each of us. It's within each of us. It surrounds us, it infuses us, it's given to us, that reacts to how we believe. It automatically brings us what we believe. You look at your life right now, and your life is created by your beliefs, whatever it is, whether it's the best life in the whole world, or whether you think I'd like a little bit more of this, or I don't like what's happening in my life right now. All you have to do is change your belief about life. Do you live in a hostile universe, or do you live in a loving universe? Thank you. Right? Ask yourself. Sometimes I think, oh, am I living in a hostile universe? Is that why I'm thinking that thought, Rita? Do I really think I'm in danger? Or do I know that I'm safe? Look what's happening right now with this nuclear thing. I didn't even know that was what the siren was that went off. I was on a Skype call with my granddaughter, and I said, yeah, that's a tsunami warning. And then I found out that that's what it was, that they're warning us in case there's a nuclear bomb that goes off. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with that? If you don't know what that is about, just go find out. If you, I don't want to go into it. But what I'm saying is that's a piece of information, right, that I can believe in, and it is possible, I guess, if I want to believe that that's possible. But beyond that, how do I feel in the world? Do I feel safe? Do I feel safe no matter what happens? I mean, come on, let's face it, guys. Wherever we live on this planet, something's happening. Do we feel safe? And the only way I can feel safe is when I tell myself, I develop a belief that I feel safe. I just say, my belief is that I feel safe in the world. So I walk through the world in that safety, so that no matter what occurs, I go back to that feeling of safety, that belief that I'm safe, and not buy into all the propaganda that's being presented to me. So it's a choice. How do you change a belief? This is the way I do it, okay? And this is the way I've been taught to do it. And that is that I take the belief I don't want anymore. First of all, I have to know that I have it, right? And usually you're going to know you have it because something's happening in your life that you don't like, okay? And you go, I don't like that. So let's see, what do I believe about life, about that thing, whatever it is? Let's say it's a lack of money. That's a good one, because that's the usual one we get as practitioners. So it's because I believe that there's lack. I believe in lack. I believe in poverty. That's the belief. Otherwise, it couldn't be there. I believe I can't make enough money. I believe there's not enough money to go around. I believe that the universe is limited. These are all beliefs. Otherwise, you wouldn't be experiencing that, because there's plenty of people that aren't experiencing it. And it's different levels, right? Some people, they got to have a whole lot of stuff, and other people are happy here, and that's all good. That's great. And then there's those that, I want more, or whatever. So it's a belief. So then I take that belief and I switch it to the opposite belief. The opposite belief would be, I am abundant. The universe is abundant. The universe is unlimited. Look at the leaves on the trees. There's so many microorganisms on that leaf. I can't even count them. This universe is based in abundance. This universe is based in unlimitedness. That's what it is. It's based in that. It gives, it gives, it gives. You can't, nature abhors a vacuum. So I'm building this belief that says the universe is unlimited. It's abundant. Now, okay, I kind of did a step ahead because I created the belief, and then I started to contemplate that belief, which was all the things I said after that. I started to contemplate what that meant. I had to take time with it. I had to meditate on it. I created a new belief, which was my affirmation, really, and then I started to contemplate what that meant. And I started to meditate it, and I started to look for it instead of looking for the opposite thing that wasn't pleasing me. I started to look for the thing that I want to experience. And then I had to keep doing it until the belief is changed. We call it staying on course. I had to do it. I had to do the work. I think that people think sometimes that they're just going to say something and it's going to be true. That's not what it's about. It's not about just saying I'm well. It's about living a life of wellness. Even if something is going on in our lives. I just recently, this week, had an experience of getting a little congestion. You can still hear it in my voice. I don't feel it anymore, but I can tell my voice is deep. Anyway, but I could have succumbed to that and sunk into, whatever about it. But instead, I remember falling asleep at night going, I'm well, I'm perfect health, and I had things I needed to do this week, so I couldn't succumb to it either, which helps. If you put a demand on the universe, it will answer that demand. And so I just kept doing that, and then when I was sleeping, I just kept affirming that I was well and affirming as well. Well, it took me about maybe 2 days, and I was totally clear. Clear to the point that I didn't feel it anymore. And there used to be a day I used to think, well, back in the old days, I used to believe, and it was a belief, that when you had a cold, it had to last for 10 days. Whoever had that belief? It was like a 10-day process from the moment that, and then it was 2 days from the moment that you contacted it from another person before, I think it was 2 days, that you would get it. And then when you got it, it would take you 7 to 10 days to get over it. And I'm like, wow, that's great for the drug industry, right? Go get that. Yeah. And I'm not against that either because I did take some. So, yeah. But it's a belief. There's a belief that says you have to do that. And so then you live out that belief. So that's just a simple example of it. I was going to go into this big other thing, but I'm not going to because Patrick has to talk to. But I know he has a lot of good things to say. But what I want to do is that I have conversations with people. Thank you. I know. I appreciate it. I have conversations with people, and they tell me we don't have tools. Or what are my tools? They don't tell me we don't have tools. They say, what are Science of Mind and Spirit tools? And I'm going to ask my Llama team people because I gave them a basket. Oh, well, Michelle hasn't. I'm going to give you some tools now, but I'm going to tell you that these tools, you got to use them. Because if you don't use them, they're not going to work, all right? I'm going to start going through them while we're passing them around. Okay, these are great. Giving and receiving. Giving and receiving is a big tool. If you give, you receive. If you receive, you give. You can't do either without the other, okay? That one they put right in the center. Forgiveness. I had a situation in my life where I was in a lot of debt. It was really horrendous to the point that most people would have gone bankrupt. The first thing I had to do was forgive myself for that debt. I had to forgive myself. If you're punishing yourself still over something that's going on in your life, then how could you get over it? The other one, and I'm going to get the most important one at the end, affirmations, which we just talked about. Using affirmations, not just saying them, actually using them the way I told you just now. Visioning, having like Malia's quote, Oprah Winfrey's quote, having a bigger vision for your life, visioning your life in a bigger way. You're unlimited. Sacred service. Oh my God. Sacred service means just being willing to serve. Sometimes you think, I can't get a job. I know that Patrick ended up with a job because he went into service, into volunteerism, and started to use his creativity, started to use his juices. There's plenty of ways to serve around this place. So if you're looking to do that, gratitude, right? You know, I remember a time when I could only shop at the 99-cent store. I had so little money. But you know what? I was so grateful for that 99-cent store because I was able to buy things there that I might not have been able to buy. Well, instead of scorning it and going, well, I can't believe I got to shop at the 99-cent store. How stupid am I and how awful is this? No, gratitude, right? And then tithing. I mean, I'm a tither. You can do what you want to do, but when I tithe, what it says to me, and you tithe to your spiritual source, whatever that is. It could be a waitress at a table, as I do in Gaines, it could be here. But when I tithe, what it says to me is that I have something to give. And I'm not worried that I'm not going to get it back. I know that I'm free to give because I live in an unlimited universe. These are all beliefs too. Okay, and then meditation, which we already talked about. Meditation every single solitary day, moments of quiet, whatever that looks like to you, whether it's sitting quietly listening to music, whether it's going for a walk on the beach, whether it's sitting with your legs crossed, whether it's doing yoga, whatever it is, the time that you spend communing with spirit. And then for us, prayer, spiritual mind treatment. That is the key to my life because that is our form of healing. That is our form of healing in Science of Mind and Spirit. And what it does is it helps us to change, it changes our beliefs. It takes the old belief. The first thing a practitioner does is separate the belief from the believer. You are experiencing your beliefs, but you're not your beliefs. You are the believer. So the first thing it does is it separates the belief from the believer, and it replaces the new belief where that old belief was, and then affirms that belief within, speaking it into the law of cause and effect, which we all live in, that one mind, that one power, that one creative medium. And then when we're receptive to it, it opens up our life. And then what happens? Everything happens. I was telling this to a friend yesterday. It doesn't mean in that instant that you get a demonstration immediately, but it means that you're being led on a path. Maybe you meet an angel healer. I don't know. That's part of the treatment to me. Maybe you go to the grocery store and somebody just pays your bill ahead of you. Maybe it could be anything. It could be you're led to somebody saying something to you, and you all of a sudden start to approach life in a new way because you've changed your belief. So these are tools, but this is great. You could take the card home and put it in the drawer and look at it every once in a while and say, wow, that's a cute picture that they put there and all that stuff. Or you could actually use them because, right? Because in reality, it's all up to you. And we have an infinite power that guides and directs us and works through us and brings us whatever it is we want to experience if we believe it is. And if we don't, believe it or not is the title of the talk, if we don't believe it, then it's still a belief. And it's okay. And we're all on the path. And this is not to put anybody down. This is to help us to move and get this thing within us, because we're all creative, amazing beings, and we have so much to give this world. And so this world needs us right now. And we need us. Right? So, do you believe it? It's up to you. Namaste. Talking about my New York accent.
I love the mountains, I love the tall trees, yeah. I love the swift winds sweeping the country. I love the rivers through all the valleys, yeah. Peace is the vision, I can see clearly. If anybody asks you who you are, just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, I'm with the stars up in the sky, with the mountains way up high. We can make it, we're the world's greatest. I'll be here to give you hope when your back's against the ropes. We can make it, we're the world's greatest. I love the rainbows, I love the eagles, yeah. I love the lions down in the the jungle. I'm with the marching band. I love the people, yeah. I'll give a helping hand, learn to be a hero. If anybody asks you who you are, just stand up tall, look 'em in the face and say, I'm with the stars up in the sky, with the mountains way up high. We can make it, we're the world's greatest. I'll be here to give you hope when your back's against the ropes. We can make it, we're the world's greatest. We're the world's greatest.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ah, I don't have any little cards for you, just so you'll know, right off the bat. Sorry. Thank you so much for that, Rita. Sometimes we have to be reminded, for me, that what we believe is wonderful and to celebrate it like we do on Sundays, but how nice to know that we can go out and use it, and it is about using it, whatever it is for you. I'm very inspired this week for many reasons. But this whole topic, I've always been, in this philosophy, let me start there. In this philosophy, believing is seeing. And yet I was raised with, I'll believe it when I see it. And that's great. I can blame them for as long as I want to, but that's what I was taught. If I see it, I'll believe it, and not before that. And so I was thinking of science of mind and spirit is very, very easy. It's done unto you as you believe, the end of the story. That does not mean it's your fault. It just means that we have a choice. And you can call it fault if you want to, but that leads to damage for me personally. But I love the idea that I'm responsible for the way I think. And that though I was told, see it and then believe it, I have an opportunity now to say it a different way, to believe it a different way. So what I was thinking about was, do you remember Doubting Thomas? Anybody remember? They go, don't be a Doubting Thomas. And what that meant was just shut up and believe me, basically what I got. Just don't be a Doubting Thomas. But I kind of got into that because I wonder, what did Doubting Thomas really say, right? And this was Doubting Thomas is when Jesus had been crucified and he came back. And everyone's like, you won't believe this. I saw Jesus. And he's like, yeah, right. And they go, no, really, I saw him, personally saw him. And they go, I don't believe that. And this is what he said, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger where the nails were and put my hand in his side, I will not believe. And so it is. Just remember something. Everything we say, just put in so it is behind it, whatever you say you believe, and you'll see where you're at. He said, I don't believe it. I got to put my hands in. Well, personally for me, that doesn't work because I don't want to know that. I just want to see him. But it doesn't work at all for me. But my point is not to make fun of anything, but just to absolutely, that's what we say. They come in and then I'll believe it when I see it. And that still didn't work. Nobody still believed they had any power, a lot of people there. This week I was revisiting Dying to Be Me. Is anybody familiar with this? Yeah, Anita Morjani, right? And I'm thinking to myself, and I saw just a little clip, and that's what inspired me, because our old, well, he's not old, sorry, James, our mentor had Anita in his audience and pulled her up and said, can you just talk to us a little bit about what went on with you? And I'm just going to share a snippet of her story just to make the point. But what she experienced was absolute incredible, and I know others who have experienced it as well. But what I want to know is this woman who was in a coma, ready to leave, and the near-death experience, she's not the only one that ever had one. I understand that. I personally have had one myself. But she was riddled with cancer, tumors all over her entire brain, body, everywhere. And they were saying goodbye to her. Now, this is exciting to me, not only because she came back, but this was the end for her of what we know. The family was gathered saying goodbye. And then Anita goes behind the veil, or they call it beyond the veil, whatever that means to us personally, and realizes that she has a choice to come back, and does. And does. And so we celebrate that. But what I'm really celebrating is what happened to her, and she came back. Here's the greatness. So she comes back, and she says, oh my God, I'm back. Within, I think it's 4 days, the tumor shrunk 70%, and within 5 weeks, she was getting up out of the hospital with no trace of cancer. So we go, wow. And everybody's like, how did that happen, right? If she can do that, you can do anything, right? There would be nothing that's going on in your life if she's our see it and believe it, right? That's all we want to do. I want to see it so I can believe it. So she does it, writes a whole book about it, and then goes back to her town where she lived. And people are saying, how did you do that? How did you do that? Well, I'm going to read this to you because I think it's... This is what she experienced on the other side. And the print, I definitely need glasses. No. So this is a question somebody asked. Do you feel that your faith in the source was a factor in your healing? She said, well, in my experience, I became the source. And there was total clarity. There was no source outside of my own expanded awareness. It felt as though I encompassed totality. As I mentioned, no faith in anything was needed for my healing because in that state, there's total clarity, and it felt as though everything became known. Belief or faith gave way to knowing. It seemed that I became everything. I existed in everything, and it all existed within me. I became eternal and infinite. Now, the reason Patrick got so excited about this is because her mission was, she said, I got to get back and tell everyone. Totally excited, right? Oh, wait till they find out this. And then she says, wait till they find out that it's all unconditional love. And that we get to experience that state right here and right now if we choose to. And another thing, we were all taught wrong from that realm. We were taught, our healthcare system is taught to focus on the illness and the dis-ease, not the health, not the health. Our schools, our universities are teaching competition, not a passion for learning. They're teaching, oh my God, I'm going to get this and you're not, and I'm going to get this, and if I can study here, if I can go here, right? So that sounds a little negative. Well, it can be if you believe it. And what I saw, and when she came back and she's so excited, can you imagine? You know what it's like when you know something. It's kind of like science, mind, and spirit. Oh my God, I got to tell you something. We're all one, and we can do anything we want because guess what? Hello, I'm God. And oh my God, you know how exciting that is? Well, she got that same excitement and said, wait till you hear this. And they said, so how did you do it? And then she said, well, I realized I'm unconditional love, and I have been a people pleaser my entire life, and I was trying to please everyone, and the key was self-love. The key was self-love, and you know what they said? She's delusional. That really, boy, did she really hit her head on the way out of the other veil, because nobody wanted to really believe it. Why? Because she walked in to an environment. She saw the light and said, guess what? No, I'm not crazy. And so we say, let me see it and I'll believe it. Well, I don't know, but I would have been running to the, and we only have one copy, by the way. But I would have been running out going, how did that happen? In case it ever happened to me, I want to know, I want what she's having. But we still said, yeah, but I'm not sure. What are you not sure of? 40 tumors. You're on your way out. You're in a coma. You came back, and 5 weeks later, there's not a trace of cancer. What more do you need to believe? But this is my theory. We might believe this was great for Anita. This is what Anita, this is all of our self-help books. These are, oh, that's great, but what about me? So my idea for this and my excitement about this is that we believe it's okay for them. Because nobody's going to tell me that Anita can do anything that I cannot do. So whatever it is that we are going through, we're not delusional. So fast forward 10 years later, she writes books, she's with Wayne Dyer, blah, 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 and she's kind of on a little celebrity thing. And everybody's like excited now. They're like, oh, I saw you on Wayne Dyer. Bought your book. Because I still needed to believe it some more. I needed to prove it some more. And so they said, well, what is it really? How does this? And she said, the first thing you have to do is you have to be delusional. That's the first thing you need to do, is be delusional. And I thought of this, and I thought, wow. And she said the hardest part, and this even now, and I thought of this for myself, that she said the hardest part was she walked back into a society that was still believing another way, and she felt like an outcast. And what was interesting, so they moved, so she said, listen to this carefully, because nobody needs to move. But she moved somewhere else so she could try on her new clothes, her new awareness, her new self-awareness, without everybody calling her delusional. And so she went and she found that. And she said one of the things that was the most disappointing, where she used to be a people pleaser, which we've all done that to some degree, at least I have. She said she found herself trying to play it down. Well, it really wasn't 40. It was probably more like 30 tumors that left. No, I know. It's not that I'm that great. I mean, she started playing it down so she could fit back in with the average thought process. And then she woke. And I know if it were me, if I had went over to the Baal and came back, there would not be a damn way on this earth that I would not stand true to my belief in what happened for me. No, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. And I have done it. I have played it down. I have heard people say, do not say I am God, because it makes other people nervous. Because then it makes it look like you're better than they are. And all of my listening, I go home, oh my God, did I please them? Or even on Sundays, we'll go home, right? And I'll say, you have the power. You are the power. And I'll go, oh, was that a little too much? That's what she's talking about. It isn't about being better or worse. It's about we have something to do. And we have tools to use. And I really love this idea of tools. But we have lots of books, too. We have lots of books, too. And then we read them, and then we do what? We either take some of that information or we don't. And so I think that a lot of times that I am addicted to the identity of my belief. And so therefore, she had to put on new clothes, and this takes some getting used to. You know, not being a victim takes some getting used to. You know, if you walked around saying, oh my God, and life, just has been raining on me and this is that, I know. I lived that. I understand it. But there is a power that comes and says, you know what? I am special. I am special. I have a power that lives within me. And I know that on daily life, it can get a little bit, because I know for me, I can get very excited, and then you go back out, right, and paying bills and doing things, getting back to work, you know. Just this morning, I'll have to share with you, there was a devastation that went on in our household. My little cat that I thought loved me so much pooped on my shoe. And so what I want to let you know about that, because last week, if you weren't here, by the way, I talked about pee pads, so I figured I would actually go and metaphorically use it. And guess what? Someone said to me, don't take it personally, but I did. Because once again, the victim, and it's, oh, how small the victim roles play. How come she didn't poop on Rita's shoe? Oh my God, if we can't get over poop on a shoe, how are we going to heal our world? Oh my God. Maria, can you imagine? Rita lives with me. Can you? So, when I heard that part about her playing it down, I will let you know that made me really incredibly sad. Because I thought to myself, how many of us at times, whatever it is, will play ourselves down? And I did it. I called it sitting in the back seat. Or I called it, I wanted to make you feel better, and when you got all the way there, then I would be okay. But I didn't want to do that if you weren't feeling at the top of your game. So a couple of things, and then I'll leave you with these questions. She had an interesting thing about health and how I know when things happen to us, we have a tendency to obsess on them, especially health, because you know it's happening in your body. So you start to, actually become a doctor yourself, because you know, I know people that name these things. I couldn't even spell it, let alone say it, verbally. But what she said was there's a great obsession because it's starting to really, it's in your body. But she started to ask new questions, and I offer that to us. Yeah, I know it's nice to say, and Rita really brought it up too, is that when you're not feeling well, they go, it's not really easy to claim health. Well, it may not be, but what's the alternative? And so what she said is, this is a question, and I loved it, and I will ask myself this in many other areas besides health. If I had my health back, what would I do with my health? If I had my health back, what would I do? I always think that that's interesting. We're wanting a healing, whether it be prosperity or health, but a question that comes sometimes is why? Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to be prosperous? And you think, well, is that important? Well, yeah, it is. A buddy of mine in New York who, during the AIDS epidemic, I think I've told it before, was so obsessed and so nervous that he was going to get the lesions that were there at that time. And sure enough, they started to appear. And I took my friend and I said, this doesn't have to be. And I was only 28 years old. I said, this does not have to be, my friend. Focus on something else. Let's focus on health. And this was a 28-year-old man who didn't know anything except, I don't know, Shirley MacLaine, I think, was around at that time, so I was kind of out on a limb with her. But, and he said, okay, I'm going to. And he started to face that, and he started to take a picture and erase, put spots and started to erase it with a pencil over and over and over again. And he started to get well. And he ran to me because he knew I was. And he said, oh, Patrick, look, you're right. You can heal yourself by loving yourself. And then, I hate to break the story like this, he died. And guess what he had told me right before he was leaving, he said, Patrick, don't get all bummed out, because I know you really believe this, and I believe you, and I help. He said, but I don't really know why I want to be here. He said, I don't want to be here. I'm done. And I went, okay. I learned that at 28 years old, and it's taken me another 10 years. Oh, how they turn on you. How they turn on you. So my friend, he proved the state of healing. You know, I only do this because sometimes you just got to break the vibe just a little bit. But in my heart, I love my friend for that lesson, because he allowed me to believe and to continue to believe that stop taking care of other people's journeys. No, you have to live. You have to live because, you know, I had a book here that told me that you can do it. Yes, Patrick, I don't want to. That was a biggie. So I'm going to invite us to take an inventory this week of our lives. Who do you believe you are? What do you believe about the world that you live in? What do you believe is possible? Who do you believe you are? What do you believe about the world you live in? What do you believe is possible? And this is my wonderful bonus round question for all of you. It's the final question, and it's worth, this is what it's worth, a lifetime of happiness. Whose beliefs are running you? Whose beliefs are running you? And when we find that out, then we get a choice to say, that was Mama's belief. That was my friend's next door belief. Yeah? I remember when it was said that there was no Santa, and then I realized that the person lied to me because somebody had told him there was no Santa. And they wanted me to be a part of that belief. And it's not. The same person is the same person that told me, you have babies by kissing. Babies by kissing. At 13 years old, that's what I got to hear. Well, if that were true, you'd have to get here pretty early to get a seat. Can I believe I just really, yeah. Sometimes I have to get used to me myself. But I really want to end that with who's running your show. My God, the things that we're told, the only person that can believe it is you. Well, it's happy holidays and the start of our belief. So do your homework. Namaste.
Oh, yeah. There are times when I find myself in unexpected places. Please help me remember we are all one. I love you, thank you for loving me. 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 I love you, thank you for loving me.
Hello. Okay, it's our time of sacred giving. And I always like to, we're in the month of December and we're in the middle of our pledge drive. I'm just going to be saying this every Sunday, so if you've heard it already, you can plug your ears. But it's just our way of you letting us know what your giving intention is for next year, so that we can, as we put our budget together for Center for Spiritual Living Kauai and get ready for our general meeting next year, that we have some basis of what we know we're going to have to be able to spend. So if you can do that, if you didn't get one in the mail, there's some in the back that you can fill out. And that. So today, just knowing that as we give today, we receive, and that what we give today goes out to be multiplied abundantly into the world and into our lives. And so we have an affirmation in the program. Let's read it together. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life, and the world. And so it is. Yes. Make sure that gets in the basket. I'm going to do the motions.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Yes, yes, yes. I am so grateful for all these tithes and gifts that we've received today, and I know that by giving that we all receive, and I'm so grateful for CSL Kauai, and I love the whole idea that CSL Kauai gives 10% out into the world. So we're sharing this love and this light and this goodness, and I know that everything that we give, we receive, and I am eternally grateful. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Thank you, thank you.
So it is.
So it is. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So where are our children?
There they are.
You're I'll call you up later. Yeah, okay. Here they come. Oh my God. It's a quintet. Woo! Bunch of beautiful feminine energy. Oh. This is Janice, everyone, our youth leader.
Good morning. We had so much fun making Christmas ornaments today, getting really creative and talking about what worries us and what we can do. And we have a blessing for the Center for Spiritual Living Kauai to give to you guys. Oh, you want to hold in the middle? You're going to come stand in the middle. And you want to put your things down so you can do your hand motions? Actually, I'll have to hold it so you guys can do.
I start for test, guys.
Yeah, just make sure you speak into that. Okay. Okay, ready, girls? 1, 2, 3.
We praise the center, we raise this center in the name of love, amen. We praise this center, we raise this center in the name of love, amen.
Wow! Can we? Yeah, so now let's tell them who they are.
That is so wonderful.
That is so, thank you. Can you do that every Sunday?
Yes, and we have this in mind when
Oh.
we're doing our blessings today.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
beautiful. Thank
That's
you.
our vision for CSL Kauai. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's tell them who they are. You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent, and we love you. Yay. Thank you for the
Yes.
flowers. Thank you,
Oh,
Janice.
Thank you, Janice.
Oh. So I want to ask the practitioners that are today that will
Are you
be
gonna put 'em on the
serving.
tree? Or are you taking them home?
Reverend Diane and Malia, yes? Roseanne, come on up. And Rob will be up in a few minutes after he's downloaded the service onto the YouTube. So we talked a little bit about spiritual mind treatment today. Again, this is our form of healing. If there's something in your life that you want to experience, let these ladies talk to you about that and treat with you. And then watch it unfold. And don't put how it's going to unfold on it, because you don't know. They're going to just set that law in motion for you and separate that belief from the believer and know the truth for you. So take advantage of them after service. If you want to do something more intense with them, like a session, a counseling session, which we do, then you can talk to them about that too. And that's it. Yeah. Wonderful. All right. Okay, cool. And this is Reverend Diane and Malia and Roseanne and Rob back there, who are our licensed practitioners. And Patrick and I are also licensed practitioners, but we're standing in the back talking to people, so we can't do it on Sundays with you guys. All right, so yeah, and you can put it in the box, and we will always pray on what's put in that box. We will do treatment work for it during the week. Okay, so let's do our closing song, which is a new song that we're all learning, including
So everybody want to stand
Maria.
up?
This is another.
Get
We've
yourself
got.
ready for your
It's a Karen Drucker week. We've got Karen Drucker month. Where's Luis?
Oh, we haven't practiced it.
What?
We haven't practiced it.
Oh,
yet.
okay. Well, we're just going to clap once we get the beat on this.
Next time. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful today.
It's easy, right? I choose
to be happy, so happy today. I choose to be happy, so happy today. I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful today. I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I choose what I want because it's all up to me. I choose to be loving, so loving today. I choose to be joyful, so loving today. I choose to be joyful, so joyful today. I choose to be joyful, so joyful today.
I choose, I guess it's my turn. Okay, so today I choose right now to do a spiritual mind treatment. And I'm going to start with gratitude. Gratitude for everyone here and gratitude for everyone in service today. So I'm going to start with gratitude for Michelle right here. Mahalo, Michelle, for your announcements. Mahalo to the Malama team, Deb, Jackie, and Stephanie. Yay! To Malia for doing our practitioner work today. To Rob back there who helps us bring this service out into the world. To Jonathan who makes sure we're heard. To the beautiful Judy for her gorgeous gift of this painting that is blessing the center right here and right now. To Ron Stover back there who does our hospitality. And Analia, thank you so much for serving us. And to Maria and Luis. Yeah, oh, well, wherever Luis is. He's still here. He's still playing. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Maria and Luis, for the beautiful music. And Roseanne, thank you for being in the bookstore and for all that you've done with the bookstore. And thank you to the practitioners who we're serving today. That would just be all of these people up here, all right? Reverend Diane and everyone. And thank you to Janice for taking care of our children. Thank you for those children. So I have a lot of thanks. So now I'm going to fill up. I am filled up with that gratitude. So now I settle in and let that gratitude just feed me and feed us. Let us take that gratitude and let's bring it out into the world and live our lives from that place, grateful for all that we have, grateful for all that we're able to do, grateful for the health in our bodies that is making itself known right here and right now, grateful for the prosperity that we get to enjoy. I know that everything that we've heard here today, we take what we want. We take what we want. We work on our own beliefs and we choose what we believe, and we know that we can choose what we believe. I know that's the truth, and I know that each and every person here is at that choice, and each and every person here is living their life fully as themselves, individually, and that is blessing this world collectively. So I am so grateful for this time that we've had together, for this service, for each and every person here, and I just say mahalo, mahalo, mahalo as I take this word, as I release it, as I let it go into law right here and right now, knowing that it is so as we affirm together, and so it is. Let's try this again. Today, I choose to be thankful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be thankful, so grateful today. I choose to be happy, so happy. I choose today. I'm happy today. I choose to be thankful, peaceful. Who's leading this song? I choose
to be grateful, so grateful today. I choose to be grateful, so grateful.
Get it by next week.
I had to turn Rita down.
I know, right? I know, right? Thanks for learning.